Hi everyone and welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 175 and I am here and Ian is here and he's looking slightly less hairy.
You looked at me as if you were expecting me to do the intro after we just had a conversation about how it was your turn.
It's just how I look at you.
Okay.
It's just how I look at you. I mean, I looked at you and then I immediately did the intro.
No, you didn't.
That was me taking a breath.
There was a long pause.
Yeah, I always leave a long pause.
Do you?
Yeah, because if I don't leave a long pause, I accidentally leave a very tiny pause and then I can't edit it out. So I'm a veteran at this. I know what I'm doing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Could have fooled me.
Hey, rude. So yeah, Ian's slightly less hairy today, but you can't tell on the podcast. I just thought I'd let you know. Well, let's see. They probably didn't hear that.
No.
It feels nice.
Stop stroking my head.
Okay. Now, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Ian asking a question. Go for it.
So, should Lego sell the same set in different ways to different people?
Do you mean if it's a small child, sell it via their school? If it's someone who looks like they don't often buy Lego sets, then like slip it under their door and just like a illicit drug deal or something, and so that people don't know. What? Go on, carry on.
I'm talking more about different packaging, different instructions.
So is this from the fact that we were saying kids have to have instructions?
So we've talked a lot, maybe not on the podcast that much, but like it seems to come up in a lot of streams, the topic of instructions. Obviously we did cover the survey where they got rid of them.
We were outraged.
Yes.
They were considering getting rid of them. They didn't actually get rid of them. Yeah.
But apparently they weren't considering it. They were just making a survey for the hell of it.
Yeah, lies. Don't believe that for a second, but carry on.
But we've talked about, like, in streams, a couple of different people come up with different points about, whether the instructions should be more tailored to the people. So obviously there are people who have different, neurodiversities, which may mean that they struggle to understand perspective in the same way that other people do.
Mm-hmm.
There are obviously colourblind people who can really struggle with some of the sets.
Yeah.
Should Lego be doing more to cater for that?
How would you cater for colourblind?
So in a lot of colourblindness, it's about making sure that there's distinction between two areas of colour.
Right.
And so, there are certain colours where when they're next to each other, depending on your type of colourblindness, it can really impair your ability to even see that they're two separate pieces, kind of thing.
So are you saying that those sets would be recoloured?
I don't know whether it's recoloured or you just make sure that there's like a white border between the new pieces that are going in so that it's more obvious that they're a different colour.
Right.
So the pieces they're next to, that kind of thing. There are ways you can improve stuff so that colourblind people can read it. In some cases, it's just making sure that the background colour emphasises the difference between two coloured pieces that are next to each other.
Mm. But a lot of instructions these days don't have a background colour, do they? They've just got that.
No, but by adding a background colour, it could help.
And how would they cater for people who don't see perspective?
So, I mean, this was mainly when we were using the app at one point, that it really wasn't clear that a piece was a slope. I think it was a wedge, but the angle they'd taken it from, you almost couldn't tell that it was.
On the app?
Yeah.
Like a PDF or the one where
I think it was a PDF.
Right, because if you can manipulate it, then you can see that.
Yes. So making sure that it's quite clear what the pieces are. In some cases, having a scale next to it. Some people can really struggle when it's two tiles of different length and you don't know which lengths those are.
Yeah.
So just making sure that you've got a scale. They do it for axles.
Yeah, and bars.
Yeah. So they could do it for tiles as well.
Yeah, because you can't count the knobs on a tile.
No.
That's the technical term.
It is the correct term. So you're having to instead work out where it goes and then count the knobs on the pieces next to it.
Yeah.
So, there are definitely things they could do. But as we've talked about, you could also have it that the more advanced builder
gets 20 pieces per thing.
kind of an abridged version of the instructions where they skip some steps and just go, and these pieces will also go on, work out where they go kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that way they're reducing the
Paper.
instruction sizes.
But how would they know which to put in which set?
So this is where it would get complicated. Obviously, if it was a purely online thing,
Then you could...
and you'd almost do like print on demand instructions. Now, obviously, with the volumes that Lego deals with, that wouldn't work so much. And it might be that if you tick the option, you might want Braille instructions. I don't understand how that would work with Lego, but
Well, you got Braille bricks, but
yeah,
they're not in sets.
no. But so like, if you tick those options, it takes a bit longer for the set to come to you. Well, but other ones they could have ready, they could have like I was watching Brick Hive did a bit of a rant about advertising sets and whether dream sets that are 8+ are clearly aimed at kids, so therefore should LAN members be doing videos on them for YouTube, or should they be doing something on YouTube Kids instead?
Right.
And my perspective of that is that it's an 8+ set because that's the youngest someone should be when they get it, kind of thing. It's not saying it's only aimed at 8-year-olds. There's no upper bound on it. But obviously the box art is going to be designed to appeal to the 8-year-olds.
Right.
Should they do it so that they come in different boxes?
So you could...
Or that you have like a sleeve that's colourful to go over the one.
Ooh,
And then if you want to sell it to an adult,
just
so you
take
put
the
it on the
sleeve off.
shelves and want it to be the like black
18+.
18+ set, you just take that off.
Interesting.
I mean, that's essentially what they did with Harry Potter, wasn't it?
Harry Potter.
They had the like childish cover which you could take off.
Oh, you mean the
just
actual
have it-
books? I was
Yes.
like, okay. Hang on, if you take the childish cover off, is it a more adult one underneath?
I can't remember if it was just a plainer one. If you think about how like hardback books work in particular,
I do know. Yeah, I understand books.
you worked in a library, you understand books.
Yeah.
So often you'd have the shiny plastic kind of cover that you could take off, and then you'd
And
have
then like
the plain.
Like a old world type book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Non-fancy, but also beautiful. So I just really like that look.
Okay.
I thought they just did alternate covers and that like it wasn't one was on top of the other kind of thing. There was definitely the adult
definitely
versions.
for the hardback ones, you could take off the children's cover.
I'm just trying to remember if I ever did that. I have I got hardback ones downstairs? I'm tempted to go downstairs and have a look now.
No,
I think I only bought the paperbacks.
Okay, that sounds like you.
What do you mean?
You don't like carrying stuff. Hardbacks would be heavier.
Well, they would be heavier, but also... I see. I don't think I ever read the books that I bought. I bought them just... I read all the books from the library, pretty much. So...
Stealing books from the library.
I didn't steal them from the library. I borrowed them.
That's
the
just a fancy word for stealing.
That's the entire premise of a library. It's a borrowing library.
What?
I may have had it before the people that were meant to have it had it, but I didn't steal it. What are you, as a librarian, if there's a new book, then you have to read it before the other people so that you can recommend it to people or like discuss it with them.
Sure.
It's very important.
Sure.
So you were talking about the cost on one of these streams of the instructions is in the making of the instructions, not necessarily the printing of them. So the work that's done to create the instructions, that cost has to be recouped. If they are making 3 different versions of the instructions, that's going to increase that cost, right?
I don't know.
No, you do know.
So like if we're saying they need to do a colourblind version,
Yeah.
whether that is an automated process
Right.
that can just be applied after you design the instructions.
Yeah, but who's going to make that automated process? There's a cost there. Who's going to...
There is a cost
suck up that
on
cost?
that, but that's then, if that's used on every set,
It becomes
it's
negligible.
distributed across so many more.
Yeah.
And again, once you've got the full set of instructions for the kids, then going, well, we can skip this step out and this step out for the adults, that's a quicker process.
Yeah. You don't skip the steps out.
You would essentially.
But if you skip steps out, you won't be putting the stuff on. You need to merge steps.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
But again, that should almost be a post-processing thing. So like drawing a line around a brick, I would hope that's a post-processing thing. So you come up with a design, you go, these are the pieces that are going on, this is where they'll be.
Mm.
And then it creates a little box in the top telling you what the pieces are and outlines the bricks on it. That should be done automatically.
Yeah.
That it shouldn't be someone has to sit there and draw a little line around stuff.
No, that's clearly not how they do it.
So therefore you could skip out a step and that automated thing would just draw a line around more bricks and
Right.
put more bricks into the top corner.
Got it.
You know, similarly, if we say that some people might want a scale on there for tiles, that's something that would be added automatically. There's no design involved in it, other than the initial design of the software and the look of it.
Okay. So you want to cater for more people with the instructions with different use cases, and you're also thinking about the box art as well, appealing to different people. Any other different ways to sell things to people?
Also, I mean, there's also the whole fact that at the moment they do completely different boxes for the US, Europe, and then Japan and China have different boxes as well. Is that true?
In some cases, I think. Like certainly the Animal Crossing has got different box art. But I don't.
So again, if you can have does the basic thing and then a sleeve that goes on it that contains the extra information or whatever's needed for the other countries.
Do you think people would be happy with the sleeve? Like, does it make you feel less premium to add on a sleeve?
They should be throwing away their boxes anyway, so deal with
Yeah,
it.
but it's not about what they do with the boxes. It's about how the box makes them feel. Like, the unboxing experience.
Do you not think that having like a sleeve around the box makes it feel
fancier? Yeah, I kind of do. So I think it would be how it's done though.
Yes.
You know Kellogg's? This is...
As in the brothers or the cereal?
The cereal.
Okay.
Like Kellogg's cornflakes, they've made box art for that.
Right.
For the standard size. And then for the smaller size, they just make the same, like it's exactly the same print. They don't even scale it down. They just chop it differently.
Right.
So it actually says Kellogg and cornflakes. Like it probably does still say cornflakes, but like it's quite clearly been chopped.
Yes. And then when they make a bigger box, they just put like a big yellow block at the bottom.
Yeah, so they're minimising the design factor and just reusing it all. So I guess that's cost saving, but you're going a different way of maximise design. Or you're saying basic design and then extra levels to enhance it.
Yeah.
The small box of Kellogg's looks really weird because it's cut off. I just thought I'd mention that.
Okay.
Do you want to see it?
Sure, why not? This is a teaser for our upcoming cereal podcast.
Be like, look,
The
Kellogg.
Flake Bods.
Kellogg.
Yeah.
Like, it's just chopped off.
I see
The
that.
Flake Bods. I think if we were going to be the Flake Bods, you would definitely be Cadbury's rather than
That's true.
Kellogg's.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
I don't know where to go from here.
So I was just making those choices of box art. Like there were definite decisions along the way. You have to go cost saving or make it look good.
Yeah.
And I think Lego would probably go along the make it look good because that's the status of their product. The box is important.
Yes.
You should still throw away your boxes, but they care about what it looks like. You wouldn't be happy if half the artwork had been chopped off, would you?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care, okay.
No.
I guess with a Kelloggs box, if half the box is chopped off, half the image is chopped off, you still know you're going to get cereal inside.
Yes.
Whereas if half the box looks chopped off on a Lego box, you're like, well, I hope it's got all the Lego in. Where's the rest of the Lego? If they chop the box, then they might have missed out some bags. So
that's true.
Maybe that's just my worry.
It's a weird worry.
I'm not worried.
Good.
Sometimes I say worry.
Okay.
I mean, right now I just thought of this worry, but I'm not kept up at night.
Okay,
don't
cool.
worry. Don't worry. Don't. Do. Do. I was detecting you wouldn't want me to sing, and therefore I missed out whole parts of that song.
Okay.
So it made no sense.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I do know the whole song. I just thought I'd make it quicker for you.
Okay.
Moving on.
What are we moving on to?
Well, this is your topic. Would you sell them in different... when you first said this, I thought you meant, different places to sell. So...
Also, it then means that,
pop-up shops. And...
LAN members would be getting the boxes with the adult look.
Right.
Let's use grown-up look, because adult look...
Adult always... adding adult onto the front of the sentence sounds
so it has
wrong.
more grown-up box, but then if someone is doing... So we know there are other influencers who promote Lego, and that's more aimed at kids. So LEV gets sets from Lego to review, and she's not part of LAN, that's part of advertising towards kids. So
loads of online influencers that are in no way Lego based get Lego products.
Yes.
So.
And so therefore they have the ones with the artwork that appeals to children.
Yeah.
I think it just makes it clearer then what you're doing.
Well, and it solves that 18 plus problem.
Yes.
That they want to market it to adults, but it actually isn't just suitable to adults.
Yeah. Like the ridiculous Snow White cottage, which shouldn't be an 18 plus set.
It wasn't hard.
So they would then have, here's the one where, you've got a big picture of Dopey on the front and bright colours, and here's the adult version where it's black and all you've got is a tree with an outline or something, I don't know.
I'm not sure I would have bought it just from a tree. I think you need to see the whole set.
Okay.
Surely. That was the problem with it.
I kind of assumed the whole set would be on both. I'm talking about the bit that they'd emphasise.
Right, got you. Okay. I was going to say, I thought you were going down the hidden side route of hide what the product is and don't make it clear. Yeah, I guess that shows an example of how box art can fail.
Yes. So. Yeah, and then as I said, they can have those, once they go, well, this set, we want to sell this amount to adults and this amount to kids. We can ship those out to the stores, so they have both of them there. And then other ones, it'll just be like, well, if the store finds that a set is selling well to adults in that area, they can just take the colourful sleeves off and have them on the shelves.
Oh, okay, yes. So they're colourful sleeves, you can still get it. So if there was only one copy of it left and it was the wrong one for you, in one scenario you can just take the sleeve off, but in the other you'd have to make do.
Yeah.
Were we saying that we'd make it easier instructions for kids? So if there's only an adult copy left.
So yes, I think they would always be trying to have more for kids. I mean, it is still a children's toy. That is the main people they're selling to. So, they'd ship out the adult ones without the sleeves on and with the more complex instructions. Mm-hmm. And then they'd send out the children's ones with the more detailed instructions. The shop can take off the cover, obviously, but then you've still got the one with the simple instructions in. But I think that's less of a issue, isn't it? When they're trying to draw people into buying a set.
Yeah.
Because that's where the box art is used mainly, is to try and get people in the shop to buy it.
I just feel like it might cost more in the long run. And we don't want to make Lego cost more.
Possibly, as I said, the being able to use one standard box design for all geographies reduces some cost, but then you're having to create sleeves, which increases costs.
Yeah.
Reducing the size of instructions saves a huge amount on transport costs. The instructions are a significant proportion of the weight of a set. So the smaller you can make those, the cheaper it is to send these sets around the world.
I mean, should we not just make it so that kids don't have to have the dumbed down version anymore? Like, in the olden days, they didn't help them as much as they do these days. Just make them understand.
Make them understand.
It's hard because when we do sets with like Leah, she is never looking at every single instruction. She is just looking at the last one and guessing.
Yeah.
And then she'll miss bits, and so I have to tell her to go back, which I guess is why is that why they do it, or is she missing bits because she's frustrated by how little she's putting on, and therefore she's skipping ahead, going, "Well, this will be easier."
I don't know.
No, I don't know either.
So you're saying if like when you open it and you've got like a double page spread, if you've got 4 steps across those 4 pages, 4 steps across the 2 pages,
she will try and skip. Yeah, she will.
Whereas if it was one more complex step, that's all
on
you've
each
got on
page,
that page.
Yeah. I think she would pay. I think she would pay more attention.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It feels like it's not one size fits all, and unfortunately, to make it cost effective, they have to try and pick one size fits all, unless they're doing it via the app. But again, there's still that cost of creating the app, or the different app instructions.
I mean, obviously, there's also the option of having it so that the instructions aren't in the box.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, this doesn't work if you're buying it online. You would say, I want this and I want the instructions kind of thing, and you'd get both of them sent. In a store, you could go, well, I just want the set. I don't want to buy the instruction. I don't want to have the instructions, or I want this instruction. And then they just have like a library of instructions. Because in some cases, you'll see the box has got to be a specific size to contain the instructions. And without that, you could actually reduce the size of the box because the Lego doesn't need all of that space.
No, yeah, there's a lot of empty space in boxes. And so if you can get fewer boxes in a van, more boxes in a van, taking up less space, then that's going to cost less.
Yeah.
What would they do with all the shelf space in Lego stores if you had smaller boxes?
I have more sets on display.
Yeah. I mean, the Disney Castle, the little one? The instructions that come with that were a nightmare to use because they were so small. Yes. Like, it wasn't that you couldn't see it, it's that they wouldn't stay open.
Yeah.
Would that become a problem if you had smaller instructions? I think it's just the way it was the way they bound that.
Yeah.
You think of the little Friends sets that you get that have a staple in the middle.
Yes.
Those lay flat.
Yeah.
Why did they not do that?
I don't know. But again, that was a compromise for the box size, wasn't it? If the box was bigger, then they'd have had the instructions that were...
But they still could have done it without doing the glued binding, where
I don't know if there's like a...
maximum number of pages.
Yeah, once you go over a certain page count, then it has to be bound in a different way.
Well, I'm all for multiple books. When it goes over a certain amount, just do another book. I would rather have 3-4 books than one massive book.
I get...
And I don't feel like that's more.
They tend to do more... They only do books when something can be split.
Yeah, and that annoys me. Because
there's no point having 2 instruction books if you can't do anything in the second instruction book until the first one is finished.
Well, there is, if you can then lay them flat and it doesn't annoy you when you're building the set.
Yeah.
Surely.
I don't know.
And they don't know best because the number of times we split a set at points where they don't think it's splittable.
Yeah.
Because they're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Like this Viking village we're building quite clearly comes in sections that you push together. And
It's true.
it's one book.
Yeah.
So it's they just don't like it.
Mm.
They're all about the weird books.
They are. Everyone likes weird books.
Sure. People in libraries do.
Mm. Monarch in his favourite bookshop.
Behave. Right. Anything else you have to say on instructions?
I think that's probably plenty on instructions.
And Kellogg's.
And Kellogg's, yeah.
Oh, it's me. Okay, so if you have any thoughts on...
Are we not?
Oh, let's rate the room. Is that what we're doing? We're rating the room. Thought I'd get away with it.
I'm going with 4.
10. Thanks. 10 is great.
4.
I heard it.
Good.
Because I haven't picked up the bags from the weekend, which I will do. It just wasn't a pressing need. But also, you leave stuff in here and never may take it out. Like, I don't remember you ever taking out a bottle that you've drunk from.
Take loads of bottles out.
Well, then take them all out. Yeah. And like, why is there nacho cheese sauce on the table? Why?
Why not?
No, that's not the question. Does it belong in the Lego room?
Probably not.
No, is the answer. So why is it here?
That's where we were eating it.
Right, and then when you finished eating it, you take it downstairs. Surely.
Okay. This Lego stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is not just a Lego room for me. It is only a Lego room for you.
Okay.
This is my place of hiding all day long. I'm always in here.
Yes.
And so if I have to do some stuff that involves my bank account, then I'll have paper from my bank account. I'll take 4. I don't care. Are we dropping this feature yet? Or does it keep me accountable?
I have no idea.
Nah. Okay, if you've got anything to say about Lego instructions, whether you've got any ideas on better ways to do it, or different ways to do it, or not doing it at all. No, we don't. We all know we don't like that one. Let us know in the comments. Also, if you want to listen to previous episodes, I will link those up at the end or in the show notes. And we'll catch you next time for another exciting episode of the podcast.
Say it like you mean it.
I am. Bye.
Bye.